This tutorial is to help you understand how to use the metric system and how to convert between metric units. First of all, why are we learning about the metric system? Well, the metric system is much easier because all of the metric units are related by factors of 10, which means all you're doing is multiplying or dividing by 10 for each unit. In order to go larger or smaller, you multiply or divide by 10, as opposed to the English system where you have lots of different factors and you have to use a conversion factor that can be very, very difficult to remember. So for instance, 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard, 1,760 yards to a mile. So it can be very difficult to figure out how many yards are in, let's say, 1.3 miles, or 5,280 feet. How many feet are in, let's say, 5.4 miles. The metric system, much easier. 10 millimeters in a centimeter, 100 centimeters in a meter, 1,000 meters in a kilometer. 95% of the world, except for the United States, uses only the metric system. The metric system is used exclusively in science, so that's what we will be using in this class. And you're going to have many fewer errors using the metric system because you're only multiplying or dividing by 10. So let's talk about this stair step. This is going to be the tool that you will use in order to convert between metric units. The three most common metric units that we call the base units are the meter, which measures distance, gram, which measures mass, and liter, which measures volume. These are the base units, and they're in the middle of your stair step. Smaller units add a prefix, which could be deci, centi, or milli. Larger units could be deca, hecto, or kilo. Hecto, deca, deci are not going to be very commonly used in physical science, but you will get to know centi, milli, and kilo. Now, if you're going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, you are going to move your decimal point to the left or simply divide by 10 for each stair step that you go. If you are going from a larger unit to a smaller unit, you simply move your decimal point to the right for each step or multiply by 10 for each stair step that you move. So let's put this into practice. Our first example is 1,000 milligrams, and we need to convert this into grams. So the first thing you need to do, find your decimal point. In this case, I've added it into the 1,000 milligrams. It's at the end. Milli. We find where our starting point is. In this case, it's at the milli, so I put an X. We're going to the gram, which is at the base unit, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 steps. My decimal point is going to the left, so I'm going to divide by 10 3 times, or just move my decimal point 3 spots to the left. And I get 1.000 grams, or simply 1 gram. The next example that I'm going to do is 1 liter to milliliters. In this case, find your starting point and add your decimal place. In this case, it's right here after the 1. We start at the base unit this time, and we're going down to milli, so it's the opposite of what we just did. It just happens to be a different unit. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 to milli. Move our decimal spot to the right or multiply by 10 3 times. So we get 1,000 milliliters. If you've gotten the hang of it, you may go ahead and stop the video and continue working on the rest of the problems. If you'd like more practice, I will continue working on the next 4. 160 centimeters. add your decimal point, find your starting point, centi, find your ending point, milli, find how many steps you need to go. 1 step. Downwards, ask yourself, do you multiply or divide? And then move your decimal spot. This becomes 1600 millimeters. You move 1 spot down. 14 kilometers, excuse me. Put your decimal spot, find your starting point, find your ending point, count your stairs, 2, 1, 2, 3, and move your decimal spot, so that becomes 14,000 meters. You just move your decimal spot the number of steps that you go. If you've gotten the hang of it, stop the video and continue working. (109 grams). Again, place your decimal point, find your starting point, gram, find your ending point, kilo, count your steps, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This becomes 0.109 kilograms. 250 meters. Put your decimal point, find your starting point, and find your ending point. Again, here is your basic unit. Meters. 2 kilometers, 1, 2, 3. This becomes 0.250. That concludes your tutorial. I would like for you to keep on working until you finish all of the metric conversion practice problems.